Conservatives in British Parliament narrowed down a list of candidates to replace Prime Minister Theresa May, deciding Boris Johnson will face off against Jeremy Hunt. Johnson, former Foreign Secretary and ex-mayor of London, has topped all 5 rounds of voting, which began last week. Hunt, Britain's current Foreign Secretary, came in a distant second. And One America's Kristian Rouz has the latest on the Brexit showdown.
We therefore declare that Jeremy Hunt and Boris Johnson are going forward to a vote of the qualifying membership of the Conservative and Unionist Party.
Foreign policy issues are set to dominate the final stretch of the race for Britain's next Prime Minister after the third and final round of voting in UK Parliament Thursday. After the vote, the MPs chose former Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson and current top diplomat Jeremy Hunt as the last 2 contenders for the job. Now British voters are focusing on the duo's stances on Brexit and relations with the world after it.
I want to turbocharge the British economy. I'm the Foreign Secretary who is fed up with us being pitied around the world for Brexit paralysis.
Both Johnson and Hunt are Oxford-educated diplomats who put Britain's national interest first, but their approaches to premiership differ. Johnson has made it clear Brexit will take place by October the 31st, with or without a deal, even if it comes at the price of poor relations with the EU going forward. He's long advocated for better ties with the US and the nations of the British Commonwealth, which could include free trade and investment agreements.
You can solve the questions of how to keep goods flowing freely across that border whilst the UK comes out of the EU as a whole. Okay. You can solve that issue during the implementation period whilst we negotiate the free trade deal.
What? Meanwhile, Jeremy Hunt doesn't rule out yet another delay in the Brexit deadline, saying if the UK and EU get close to reaching a deal in late October, more time could be needed to finalise an orderly divorce. But Johnson warns another delay could put the UK up for a snap election and a possible victory of the Labour Party, who would try to undo Brexit altogether. Hunt takes a softer stance on the EU as well and believes Britain could model its cross-channel relations after such non-EU countries as Norway or Switzerland.
We've got to put someone forward as Prime Minister who the European Union are actually prepared to talk to. That is the only way to get a better Brexit deal and solve the crisis that we're in.
The two have slight disagreements over the future of the British economy as well. Hunt is looking to preserve trade and investment ties with the EU, while Johnson is seen as favouring deeper financial integration and greater flows of capital between Hong Kong, London and New York.
And inward investment has soared to a record £1.3 trillion. It's almost as if the commercial dynamism of the British people is insulating them from the crisis in our politics.
As of Thursday, Boris is supported by 160 out of 313 Tory MPs and over 51% of Conservative voters. Hunt has 77 votes in Parliament and 25% of the popular vote, but he could carry another 75 MPs and 24% of voters who backed Michael Gove before he was eliminated from the race. British voters are now gearing up to cast their ballots by mail, and the new Prime Minister is set to be announced on July the 22nd. Kristian, Rouz, One America News.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.